Pretty good forecast there, Conrad. You might be able to even check it on your phone.
Yeah, well, the apps aren't quality at all. You got to tune in to
but the
find
NewsWatch 12 app, maybe.
Yep, that's actually better.
There you go. Well, we do live in a pretty tech-savvy world, and cell phones are a large part of that nowadays. Therefore, Conrad and I are asking, how often should you be switching your phones?
Very good question.
It is a good question. We talked a little bit about this yesterday during trending, and now it's got me thinking, because I used to, when I was younger, it'd be every 2 years I would get a different phone. But as I've gotten older, I don't know. It's like I have the 11 Pro, and I like it a lot. It's a good size. The camera's fantastic. And yeah, it just does everything I want it to. And it has a SIM card, a physical SIM card. Now, with the 15 Pro Plus, like as you get newer than that, the US versions have gotten rid of that SIM card.
I know,
which is not great, because if you go abroad and you need to get a different SIM card for, like, you know, your trip, like a week or 2 weeks, you don't have that card anymore. So like it's a whole process. It's much, much more difficult than going to the store, grabbing the card, plugging it in, and you're good to go in 5 minutes. Now it's hours long.
I used to have the 13 Pro Max, right? And I honestly enjoyed it so much. Like, I'll be honest, I had less issues with my 13 Pro Max than I have with my 15 Pro, which is one of the newest phones. Now, of course, the 16 is the newest one that came out, but I've had a couple of glitches in the 15 where I had to restart my phone. I was like, hey, this is a new phone. What's going on, you know? My 13 Pro Max never had any issues, to be honest. The battery was longer. It is a Pro Max, so it does have a, you know, bigger battery in general. But I would say for me, every 2 to 3 years is a good time to get a new phone. Really depending on what's going on with it. Like, if it breaks, if I have a screen crack, then I'd probably get a new phone quicker. But on average,
screen crack now?
No, not now. No. But my 13 Pro Max, I did have my screen cracked. I had a couple of accidents, and then yeah, my parents were just like, all right, let's get the 15 then, you know.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I'd say probably every 4 years, unless you have the break. Of course, if your phone breaks, I mean, obviously if the screen breaks or something goes wrong with the battery, stuff like that, you know, you replace it, you know, obviously. It's like anything in your life.
Exactly.
But, you know, every 4 years, I feel like that's long enough for real, you know, substantial changes to happen to the phone in technology.
Yeah, now the main question is, are you sticking with the iPhones, or are you transitioning to the Samsungs? Because that's a big deal.
That's a whole nother debate, Conrad. Well, I'll give you a short little brief. I was always iPhone. I switched to Samsung for a little bit when I was in high school. Hated it instantly. Wow. So sorry for the Samsung
My friend,
users
same
out there.
story. Yep.
It drove me wild almost instantly.
Why?
It was the texting.
Oh, was it? Okay.
It was the texting. It was the identification. Because when I mess up words or typed correctly, it would change it, or it would leave them. It didn't have the identification of how I text as well.
And it probably felt weirder to text, right? It doesn't have like that, that drop.
It was fine. It didn't have the identification as well. So it required me to like edit words a lot more, which was very just annoying. When you want text, you want to do it fast. Yeah,
no hate on Samsung at all. My dad was actually trying to get a Samsung before getting the 15 Pro, and I'm like, hey, I'll go on my own plan. Like, I'm sticking with the iPhone. I've had the iPhone for, you know, since iPhone 4. Yeah,
oh boy.
Since iPhone 4, so
well,
good memories.
Well, hopefully, whatever phone you're using out there, you like it, and, you know, just keep up to date, but you don't have to get every new version.
No,
That's wild.
Absolutely not. No.
That's wild.
Too expensive.
We got more stuff coming up this morning, including you can check out a bake sale that's going to be happening. A lot of goodness for sale happening out there today for a great cause in the Northwoods.
But first, Mr. Howard is in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with a recipe for chopstick veggie fried rice.